Welcome to the beautiful beast. Having said our goodbyes to Stacey and Jez, we moved on to the coast. It was hard leaving. Their fire was lovely and warm, and their curry was second to none. And it was difficult to leave. But we made our way, and we made our first tactical error, really. We went to a McDonald's to download the first episode 3 of our route through France, and it took 3 hours to upload. The upload speed was atrocious, but because we were a bit in, we stuck with it, hoping it would get faster, and it didn't. And but we learnt our lessons there, and that kind of delayed us moving on. But eventually we moved on and stayed a night on a hilltop with some lovely views of the Pyrenees. And then the following day, we made our way to the coast. So it would be sacrilege to leave France without at least visiting a patisserie even, to have a little look around. Obviously, my wife was most in favour of visiting this place, so we went in, and it is just full of your favourite things. I thought we were very controlled in there. I don't think we spent more than €10. Oh, what a selection. I mean, they put Greggs to shame, really. But they don't have different ones or anything like that. But the quality is pretty bloody good. And their rolls had all sorts of tasty stuff in it. It was proper nice. And I'm glad we did the visit. And look at the cream cakes at the end there. Oh, you could die. You could spend a fortune in there. But luckily, we managed to control ourselves. A quick salute to the donuts. Yes, I know.
I think there's a dog now, just been shitting there. No.
And moving on quickly, we made our way to San Sebastian, and just to prove that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Unfortunately, it was a bit overcast the day we were there. Ooh. But it did brighten up, luckily, in the afternoon. And having had a look around through the centre, we made our way into the old town with the lovely little narrow streets and pedestrian areas with some great little shops and sorry about the strobe lighting, and the nice church at the end there, which unfortunately we didn't get a chance to go in, but it did look great from the outside. I think that's the original one as well. So we moved on from there, and then decided to stop for some lunch. Met some of the wildlife. They were quite hungry and waiting on us. We dived into the tortilla, which was fantastic, and finished up with some coffee and some nice cake. You can never go wrong with a bit of cake. And then in the afternoon, we slowly made our way to this kind of open area on the seafront and took in the sunshine and very, very slowly made our way back to the van. But I mean, it hit 19 degrees, which, you know, for winter. So we left San Sebastian and followed the road to our next destination, which was Getafe. Getario. But the route there followed this coastal road, which was particularly beautiful. So I'm going to leave you to follow this road. So we arrived here and luckily found a lovely little parking spot specifically for motorhomes. So we drove around, we reversed in, and not a bad view really from the front of the car. What a lovely place. So off we went for a walk and took in the afternoon sun. It was quite warm in the sun, it was not quite so warm out the sun. We followed this path down to the port and had a look around the harbour. There was some massive trawlers down there, and they'd obviously finished off loading and they're just doing general maintenance on the boats. There was a place to buy fish as well, and we just wandered about really and took it all in. Just after that, there's a little beach just around the corner there, which was very nice, and we went round there and sat on the beach. I went for a little paddle in the sea, which was not that warm, and we phoned Cariana, a friend of ours, and wished her a happy birthday. So it was a lovely day, and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. Unfortunately, that lovely sunshine we had didn't last long. Literally by 4 o'clock, the clouds came in. It got quite cold, and we made it back to the motorhome, and then it began to rain, and then it was kind of horrible all night, blowy and cold. I do appreciate in the UK at the moment it's minus temperatures, so I don't know what I'm moaning about, to be honest. But so we left there, and we followed the coastal road, and the coastal road was gorgeous, until we were just following this road here, and at the end of the next town you turn left and then you go up into the hills, and we had some mountain riding. There's no other word to describe it. I suppose we went up to about 3,500 metres. Over 5, I'm now being told by Mrs. Hale. So it was a fair drive, and it was mainly swishbacking to get up the top, and then all the way down, which was we took nice and slow. Luckily, it wasn't a particularly busy road, and we just took our time. The beautiful beast didn't seem to worry about it; just took it in her stride, and but it was very scenic as well up there. And because it was a bit overcast, it was a really good day to drive. So we took the opportunity, and then we're off to our next destination, which is Mundaka. Very narrow little streets as we drove in, and we nearly get ourselves in a right pickle. I think I've edited some of that out, but the streets are narrow and are at 3.5 metres tall, our truck, or 3.2. Mrs. Ailes slightly concerned. The thing to do in these towns is they tend to have their washing hanging down, and Mrs. Ailes was quite concerned that we were going to take someone's washing down the street with us as we went down these narrow streets. But we somehow managed to get over that, and I went left here originally. No, yeah, and I got stuck, and this is after learning from that. Be very careful going down these small streets in a big truck. So you've been warned. But very pretty place. So once we sorted ourselves out, we found ourselves somewhere out of the town to park, and we walked into town. Bugger me, is it cold. Ooh. Unfortunately, this is the view of the Mundaka break, and unfortunately we just didn't catch the surf, which is a shame really, because I've seen some photos of it, and it is, what an epic, just peels off. But the harbour was nice, and found a little area in there in the sun. Somehow I managed to lose Mrs. Ale. We found her in the end. But some lovely views, and there's some really good quality fishing places. Harbour looked really good. You can tell there's just bits of old fish laying around and stuff, bits and pieces. But and quick shout out for the graffiti artists. Some of it was quite impressive. And lastly, a small family of goats that I've wandered upon. So the not so glamorous side of overland van life is that you have to look after a couple of things. One being the grey water. We've got a tank underneath. It's called grey because it's just your sinks really. We got one in the bathroom and one in the kitchen, and the grey water is just the offshoot of that. So it's not particularly nasty. It smells a bit, but not very much, and it's pretty harmless. We got a tank underneath the truck. I have to pull a lever to open it up, and then when it opens, it pours out. So that's that over and done, and you just let that go out and you can get on with other stuff. And in this case, it's removing the poop. We're in a motorhome car parked area at the present in this frame, and they actually have a disposal point to use. So, and it's free. Even getting rid of the grey water, there's no charge for it. They'd rather you were dumping it there than dumping it over the countryside. So France is very much the same. They got these areas in most villages where you can either park up for free, and it's sensible. You know, gets you. Maybe us in England should be thinking of doing the similar things. I mean, it may already be available in certain places, but you have to take your poop out and open up a chute. And let it go. And the funny thing about doing this is, as I'm doing this, there's a Spanish couple and another woman beside me standing, chatting away as I'm letting go 3 or 4 gallon of pee and poop, and they didn't even miss a beat. So that was I thought that was quite funny. Funny enough, actually, once I emptied it, they moved on pretty sharpish. So that's it from this week from me and Mrs. Hale. We are in northern Spain. We've had a lovely week, and there'll be no daily vlog over the weekends because I've only got so many friends. I don't want to lose any more. So it'll be back to normal on Monday. Have a great week. Many thanks. Bye.